Hi guys, it's Monique, and I just thought I would come here today and do kind of an update. We are a week out from our reassessment appointment with Doman International, and I'm really excited to kind of take you guys along on this journey. This weekend we did, I took some clips of Z doing his crawling and his creeping, and we also did some clips of his masking. And so basically tonight, once I'm done with making this video, I'm going to go take those videos and send them off to Emma so that way she has them to show the staff at Doman International. I also I have to resend all of the files that I had transferred from the Institute in Philadelphia to them. So I had them, they sent the files to me, like Zakari's whole file that he had on there, and I just have to transfer them over. My cats apparently are making a lot of noise upstairs. I'm just hearing some kerfuffle going on up there. So that is what I'm going to be doing when I'm done this video. I just wanted to kind of come and share like some huge changes that I've seen in Z. He recently, like he's been okay with the ear defenders. So when we left Philadelphia, they had recommended us trying to get him to wear ear defenders or earplugs for 30 minutes a couple times a day, or in situations where he was in groups of people. But as much as we tried, he really wasn't, he'd wear them for a couple minutes and he'd throw them off. And so we kind of forgot about it. And recently we've been really pulling those back out again. And so we were standing in line at Tinkertown last Monday and waiting. Tinkertown is like a little amusement park just outside the city from us for kids his age. And we were meeting his cousins there, and I had one of my daycare kiddos with us, and he was plugging his ears. And then it just dawned on me, I'm like, you know what, I have ear defenders in the van. So we purchased our tickets, and then I had my mother-in-law stay with the two boys, and I grabbed his ear defenders. And that made all the difference in the world. And as much as I knew he was sound sensitive, I didn't realize how much that was impairing his life. Because he was a different kid. He was probably, we didn't have any meltdowns that day. I was anticipating we would stay at Tinkertown. If we made it 2 hours, woohoo, money well spent. We stayed 5 hours. We nearly closed out the place. We probably would have closed out the place, but my daycare boy had to get home. He couldn't stay till close. So we had to leave because of that. And even leaving, we didn't have a meltdown. And he was able to be in crowds of kids, go on noisy rides. Carnivals are not quiet scenes. And it made me realize that what was overwhelming him was the sound. And, like I said, we all know kids, a lot of kids with autism are sound sensitive. But I didn't realize how crippling it was. So then, that evening, we went for a walk at Assiniboine Park, which is a huge park where our local zoo is. But we didn't go to the zoo. The zoo was closed, and we were going there later in the week. So just to test it out, I put his ear defenders on him again, and he was just so calm and so relaxed. So then, fast forward to Friday, my mother-in-law took Z to the zoo. It was just the three of us. And I put his ear defenders on him. We were in crowds of people. We were in, situations where he usually would be overwhelmed. And he was so calm. So I decided I'm going to check something else out. And we landed up going to Z's aunt's, a great aunt's house to go swimming. She invited us over on Sunday. And because here it was the long weekend, Monday my husband didn't have to work, and so we went and spent the day at the pool. And Z usually needs to have, I've tried using like those mud puddle jumpers, that's the word I'm looking for, puddle jumpers on it, but he didn't seem to feel secure with it. So we always had to put on his life jacket. And yesterday, I just decided I'm going to put the ear defenders on. So I put his hat on and I put the ear defenders on, And he went into the pool without the life jacket. And I mean, we were there supervising, he could touch the bottom, but he usually grapples the side of the pool and shimmies across, and he didn't. He realized he could touch the bottom. He wasn't overwhelmed by all the sounds, and he started, I'm going to insert a little clip here.
Right after the hat.
Right after the hat. Before, here?
Like, it's on the side of that side, right inside the hat.
Okay. Are you going to jump in, or you want to do it while you're Ready?
Over there was like, get rid of the bell! Right here. Mom, guess what? I swam down to the very bottom of the deep end, and I got a ring. I got 2 rings.
Okay, and as you can see, he went into the water. He was putting his face under the water, and when I was in the pool with him and he had his face in the water, his eyes were open underneath. He was looking, and he'd come up and rub his eyes, and it was just so impressive. And of course we had to wring those ear defenders out, but I mean, they made all the difference in the world. Even driving home, I put on another pair of ear defenders on him because he often sat there with his ears plugged, either because of the radio or because of the wind blowing in, because sometimes the air conditioning sometimes bothers some of us. My husband sometimes gets headaches from it. It sometimes flares up my allergies. So we had the windows open and the ear defenders on, and he was almost dozing off. We stayed at the pool. We got there at 1, and we stayed till almost 8 o'clock at night. And he was having the time of his life. So basically I'm sharing this with you guys just to share that it's shocking how our kiddos with autism can be in sensory overload all the time, and we think they're misbehaving, and we think they're having temper tantrums, and we think, you know, there's so many thoughts that's going on, but we're not understanding that they are experiencing sensory overload. This weekend, Spencer Doman did a Q&A on both Instagram and Facebook, and some of the things he talked about were how sensitive kids can be when it comes to their hearing. Some of them can hear the water going through the pipes in the walls that some of us don't hear. We often hear about kids with autism being bothered by fluorescent lights because they hear the humming. Some kids hear their own heart beating all the time. And these putting in the ear defenders, we haven't put in the earplugs. We were recommended it. I just don't think he would keep them in. The ear defenders are working really well right now. It's not to say we won't go with the earplugs at some point, but it's not broken. We're not going to fix it. And he could still hear us, but I've put the earphone, we call them his ears. I've put his ears on myself, and I can hear what I need to hear without hearing a lot of background noise. And so for him, if this muffles some of it, it is just it's a lifesaver for him. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that experience with you, and just so you can kind of understand like how different things are for our kiddos. And I hope this helps. If you're interested in the ear defenders that Z is wearing in the video, I can put a link. I'll find them on Amazon and I'll put a link there. But we also here in Canada have a place called Princess Auto, and it kind of sells all sorts of stuff. And we've also purchased some orange ones from there that were like I think $9.99, and those work just as well. He doesn't have a preference on which ones he's going to wear. Those just happen to be the ones within arm's reach when I decided to kind of try this experiment. So let me know, what do you do to help your kids if you have children that have sensory, that their sensory are sometimes overstimulated. So sometimes my eldest, it was glasses. He had to wear sunglasses all the time. He was light sensitive. My youngest is definitely sound sensitive. Some kids are texture sensitive. We did a lot of programming with the institutes, like a tactile stimulation program. And that helped Z. His clothes used to drive him nuts. It used to drive him nuts just wearing clothes. And we used this, it was basically we took different types of fabrics and we rubbed them over his body several times a day just so his body would understand and start to feel different fabrics and become desensitized to it. And once we did that, like, clothes didn't bother him anymore. So it's amazing the different kinds of programs that can be done, and I'm interested to see what Doman International sets up for us. So stay tuned. Next week you're going to probably see some videos we are going to be doing with the old schoolhouse review crew team. We're going to be doing a not back to school kind of week where we share different, there's a bunch of us that are sharing different themes. I'm going to be talking about homeschooling with autism, and then the following week I'm hoping to get the videos up about our experience with our appointment. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out my blog, www.earlylearningmom.com, and we'll see you guys soon.